Telling you that here at BBC Radio Berkshire, our usual film critic Gareth Owen has suddenly collapsed on us, and he's got a bad cold and cough. So we wish Gareth well, and I'm delighted to say joining us right at the last moment is BBC film critic James Luxford. James, thank you very much indeed for being with us today.
No problem at all.
Thank you very much. Hey, I tell you something. I watched a great film last night. Yesterday it was on Sky. One from a long time back. Have you ever seen Colton's Way with Robert De Niro?
I haven't, no, but I've heard good things about it.
Terrific, absolutely terrific. I've come to it slightly late. I think it was about 20 years ago it came out. Nevertheless, it was very good. So let's talk about new films this week. And the first one is 5 Feet Apart.
Yes, it's a kind of a weepy drama about two teenagers suffering from a debilitating illness who fall in love despite their conditions, meaning they must keep, wait for it, 5 feet apart. And I'm afraid I wasn't a huge fan of this. It's clearly aiming to be something like The Fault in Our Stars from a few years ago, this kind of teenage-aimed, weepy, focusing around an illness which sort of makes their love a little bit time-limited, if you like. But it's too cheesy for me and too sort of bogged down in cliches to ever be really that affecting unless you're a really die-hard, weepy fan.
5 Feet Apart. Yeah, even the title doesn't appeal to me, to be absolutely honest with you. Right, so that's a no-no. Let's move on to the next one. Us.
Yes, it's the new film from Jordan Peele, who you may remember is the director of Get Out, a breakout hit from a few years ago. It follows a family on vacation who are confronted with terrifying figures who look just like them. Now, I'm not a huge horror fan. I don't tend to review horror films that often because I don't think it's fair, because I don't have the passion for them that an expert would. But I do recognize a good one, and this is an exceptional film. It's incredibly well told, well written, well paced, well acted. Lupita Nyong'o, who you may remember from Black Panther and 12 Years a Slave, is fantastic as the mother of the family, and I suppose two characters really, but that's a little bit of a spoiler. But I think the real star is Jordan Peele, the man behind the camera, who I think is beginning to become a real master of horror, like a Wes Craven or a John Carpenter. He's soon to take over the presenting duties on the reboot of the Twilight Zone, so you can sort of see where he's positioning himself as a new kind of face of fear, if you like.
So even if, I mean, I'm not a horror film fan either, but even if you're not, you think this one's probably worth going to see, do you?
Yes, I think so. I think you can appreciate the filmmaking side of things, the storytelling side of things. I jump very easily in the cinema, so for a very serious film critic, that it doesn't a very good look. So, but I must say, despite the jumps, I really enjoyed it.
I would have thought, being a film critic, you would have got used to it by now, but obviously not. You don't go for those films so much. So
No, not so much. No,
I don't blame you. Right, let's move on then to a DVD release called Creed 2.
Yes, it's the sequel, as you would imagine, to Creed, which is an extension of the Rocky franchise. Michael B. Jordan plays Adonis Creed, who is Rocky Balboa's protege, if you like, and the son of Apollo Creed, his former opponent. This time, Adonis Creed is fighting the son of Ivan Drago, who, if you remember from Rocky IV, is the man who killed his father, played by Dolph Lundgren. And I enjoyed this. Look, it sticks to the Rocky formula quite rigidly, so you know what you're getting. You're getting the rousing music, the montages, the speeches. But I'm so nostalgic for these films. It's always a thrill to see Rocky back as Creed's trainer.
And you get the big fight at the end always, don't you?
Absolutely, and of course you've got a blast from the past with Dolph Lundgren and Sylvester Stallone, not in the ring this time, but in the corners with their respective younger proteges.
James, thank you very much indeed. That was James Luxford there, filling in for Gareth Owen, who hopefully will be back with us next week, and we wish you well, Gareth.